Considered the world's most dangerous game, for years the Ouija board has claimed to grant you access to the other side, but it may also grant the other side unwanted access to you, with consequences like poltergeist, possession, and in the case of Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro, maybe even death.
I said before we get into it, can you say that name for us live?
Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro.
Yo,
I'll be saying it a
check
lot.
my man's Spanish.
Yeah, come on. What do you think I am? I'm only half a gringo.
I was
I'm
shocked.
Puerto
I was
Rican.
like, whoa, that sounded legit.
Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro.
Whoa.
You crazy? I know my shit. I've been.
And those intros, though, these intros are getting fire, bro.
Like
The intros
that?
are crazy. I
Right,
love
he's
them.
doing a real good job. I'm like, whoa. You telling a story for us or a bunch of children?
I'll be making them in the middle of the night, looking over my shoulder, like, damn, bro, it's getting scary up in here.
Damn.
I'll be having gusts
I
of
wanna
wind
be
fly
yours.
by. I'll be like, nah, it's getting spooky up in here. It's getting spooky up in here.
Make sure never to do anything scary
Mo
with me
was
and
not
Chris.
feeling that intro. He was like shaking his head,
I don't
I was
waving.
fuck
shaking my head, but I was bumping. I was like,
I don't
yeah.
fuck with Luigi boards, and then they came out with
Luigi
that
board.
board.
What do you think this is, Nintendo? It's Hasbro, not Nintendo.
That's what I'm calling it for my own safety.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that new holy board shit they coming out with.
I talked. Yeah, I did talk about
I
that.
Not.
I
Is
talked
this
to
like the anti Ouija board?
It's the Ouija board
it's
where it's like
basically
it has
the
the
same
Holy Spirit and it shows it has Jesus on it and like doves and all this like nice spiritual stuff. I talked about it to plug this in the next segment. I do talk about that with Electra. So boom, there you go.
Boom.
Boom.
Stay
They
tuned.
say it's supposed to be the good Ouija board. You can talk to Jesus. I be talking to Jesus myself. I don't need no board for that, bro. I be talking to Jesus on my own, dude. Forget it.
Ain't no board for that.
Forget it.
You might as well burn your Bible.
But you know who did?
Let's continue.
You know who did play with the Ouija board though?
Oh no.
Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro, and we about to talk about why and what went down after that.
And you know who didn't?
Us. That's why there's no case on us. We ain't getting haunted. All right. So this case went down in Madrid, Spain in 1990. Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro was 17 years old. She was into the occult. She had some books. She was getting into the spooky stuff. And she decided to bring a Ouija board to school. She decided to do so because one of her friends had a boyfriend that recently passed away in a motorcycle accident. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to bring the board over to school. We're going to have a seance, and we're going to talk to him. We're going to ring him up. And that's what they tried to do. They brought the board to school, and they used a glass, like a glass cup, in replacement for a planchette, which is a thing that you move that moves across the board and shows you the numbers and the letters. They're using that, and during the seance, it said that the glass flew off the table and shattered. When that happened, a dark smoke came out of nowhere and went right for Estefania. A nun came in the room from the school and broke all this up. She didn't just break up the seance, though. She grabbed the Ouija board and broke it in half.
Oh, damn.
Probably not the best idea for people who are really Ouija board heads. They're like, oh boy, this is when it gets crazy. This is when it gets crazy. And this is when it does. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask, can you still say goodbye on a broken Ouija board?
You got to put it back together. And you got to put it back.
God that it does.
You got to put it back together and hit it with the. But now they don't got no glass, so you're done. They're done. After this, Estefania starts behaving very strangely at home. She starts growling. She starts barking. She starts attacking her family. She starts having seizures and going into convulsions, telling her family that she's seeing shadow people. She's having hallucinations, and they can't find out what is going on with their daughter. So the mother starts bringing her to doctors. She's bringing her back and forth, and they're like, listen, she's obviously whacked out, but we don't know what's going on with her physically. We can't give you any concrete reason as to what's going on with her. Her health was rapidly deteriorating, and in 1991, she died from unknown causes. She died a mysterious death. After that, things continued, and it continued with the family. The family started hearing what sounded like Estefania's voice going through the house, like calling for the mom, or they would just hear her voice in the house. The parents kept her room off limits, and they kept her room as neat and clean as possible. But sometimes the mom would go check out what was going on in the room, because I guess she would hear noises in there, she would hear the voice in there, and when she would go in there, she would see that the room would be a wreck, mysteriously. There's just stuff all over the place. The room's a mess. They start hearing banging. They start hearing all the types of noises you would hear when you're talking about a haunting. Doors were opening mysteriously. So much so that they put furniture in front of the doors. But gusts of wind would come by and blow the furniture out of the way and blow the doors right open. The sister and the rest of the family started seeing shadow people in the house, the same way Estefania said she would see shadow people. The sister claims that one night she was laying in the bed and she could see the light coming in from under the door. And when she was looking, she claims that she saw what looked to be like a shadow man crawling on the floor towards her bed. And there was all kind of crazy stuff going on in the house. So much so that eventually it all came to a head one night when the mom was sleeping in her bed and she felt like a pressure holding her down, and she felt pulling on her limb. She felt like she was being choked. This is when she had enough, and the family ended up calling the police. They didn't call ghost hunters. They didn't call...
Bro, what the hell is the police
They didn't call a priest. They ended up calling the police. Well, I'll tell you what the police did. They came to investigate.
Absolutely fucking nothing.
They came to investigate. And as you would imagine, you would think the police would go in there and be like, well, you know, we don't see anything. We don't hear anything. We can't do anything about paranormal activity. Like, we're not ghost hunters, huh? We're not the Ghostbusters. No, that's not what happened. Soon as the police showed up, they hear noises going on inside of the house that they cannot explain. When the police walk into the house, they say that
these some ballsy ass ghosts.
They saw.
So you're saying that there's nobody in the house though? Like everybody's outside waiting for the police.
I'm glad you said that, because yes, the family was waiting outside for the police. And
these ghosts really got balls.
So there's nobody in there right now.
These ghosts are
police
different.
And whoever the fuck else is in there, whatever else is in there.
Yeah.
Oh, they want all the smoke.
Yeah. Oh no.
Shit.
Oh no. So the police go in there, and after hearing these unexplained noises, they say they see the door for a dresser moving on its own in unnatural ways. They say that's their words. They also claim they saw what looked like to be a brown drool-like substance on the furniture. One of the police officers ended up going into one of the rooms, and he said they saw the cross that was on the wall go upside down, and the metal Jesus that was on the cross ended up falling off mysteriously.
Nope, not Jesus. Nope.
One of the
No.
The daughter, the sister, grabbed the cross and put it behind the door on a poster. And when she did that, the police officer says that's when he saw scratches materialize onto the poster. So the police are seeing all this type of shit go down. And in the police report, I forgot to mention this. The officer says he was sitting on the bed, and he said it was the same bed that the family reported that the husband was sitting on the bed with one of the brothers, and the brother levitated off the bed and got thrown into the other bed that was in the room. That was in the report that they claim the family.
They're playing football with
the family,
people. Get the fuck out.
playing catch
How
with
do
the
we know it
kid.
just wasn't the dad? Like, all right, bro, get off my bed.
Well, that's what the dad. That's what he said.
Child abuse.
Yeah, he just threw his kid. Like, all right, enough playing around, bro.
So that was pretty much everything that was in the police report. The police left, and after that, the family moved out, and no paranormal activity. Oh shit! I forgot one more thing. I forgot one other thing. My bad. So, along with the brother getting thrown to the other bed, there also was claims that when the mom was, I think, cleaning up the room, or when she was walking around the house doing something, a picture of Estefania fell off of wherever and fell to the ground. And when she picked up the picture, they claimed that her face on the picture was burned out of nowhere. Just a burn materialized onto the picture. The crazier part is that the frame that the picture was in was still intact, unharmed, untouched. Just a random burn. So after all this went down, family ended up moving, and that was pretty much the end of that. No paranormal activity on the family side in their new residence, and really no paranormal activity in the residence after they left. So,
because their daughter's soul is left in the other house in hell. Poor thing.
her soul was in hell.
Yeah. The burnt picture,
how did you come to that conclusion that her soul is in hell?
Because her picture was burnt on her face.
She used the Ouija board.
So was there a swap of some sort that like a demon swapped her soul for his, and now he's in the little girl and she's in hell?
Well, the little girl's not alive. She's dead.
No, the girl died. So when they were probably playing with that Ouija board, he probably just took over and went inside her body, and I don't know what type of Spanish family that wasn't like, hey, let's go to the Catholic Church or get a priest or whatever they were. They just didn't do the proper exorcism and everything. So that demon was able to live within her long enough to take her. That's where all those screams were. And they didn't get any clarity. They didn't baptize the house. They didn't do anything. They didn't set her soul free. So she stopped.
The crosses weren't even enough. They were throwing Jesus off the cross.
Throwing a kid across the room.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I wouldn't have put it past the dad for throwing his kid.
Yeah, it's a very stressful situation. There's a lot of stress going on in the house. Maybe you got thrown.
A lot of stress.
Well, that is your theory, Mo. That is your theory about what happened to her.
That's my
But there
theory.
are many theories about what could have actually been going on in this house. Theory number one is basically what you're saying is that they used the Ouija board, she was possessed, and that, after that she died from the possession. There's also another theory that I've seen, but not in every article or every single video that I've looked at. This is in some of them, but this one was actually in a news clip that they ran, I guess, in Spain, because it was in Spanish, but I watched a woman translate it. So in some of the stories that I read, they claim that before Estefania did the Ouija board, her grandpa was dying in the hospital or something, and her family was gathered around the grandfather. Now, the grandfather didn't like the family at all. He hated them. But they were there to watch him cross over to the other side.
To watch him die. Yeah. Great family.
They were like, yay, glad, right? But before he died, the word is that he whispered to Estefania in Spanish. I'm not gonna say it in Spanish because that I'll butcher for sure. I don't even know. I can't even say that. But what he said translated to, if I can't hurt you in this life, I'm gonna get you in the next.
Oh, nah. Oh, shit.
Freaking crazy. Getting out of hand, Grandpa. Willow's wilding out.
They made the movie Angry Grandpa about the wrong grandpa.
That ain't right.
Bro.
That ain't right. So,
Yo, we need a whole movie about this one grandpa. Yo, what was his life before this happened? Why is he so mad at his grandkids?
What did she do to you,
when
Grandpa?
they were investigating
Give her
the
that
house,
box.
they brought paranormal investigators over. They brought like a EVP machine or like the voice machine, whatever. And they claim that they
Fear
hear
box.
they claim they hear the voice basically saying like beware of grandpa, beware of the old man, blah blah blah. And in the news clip,
That's
they say
her. That's her warning you.
yeah, they say that the psychic said that there's two spirits. There was two spirits in that house, the spirit of Estefania and the spirit of the grandpa basically struggling and fighting. And they show the psychic getting possessed by the grandfather. And they say that they were hearing laughter from an old man while the parents were getting haunted, while all that stuff was happening where, they saw the burned picture, while they hear the bang and the knocking and the doors opening, they were also hearing the laughter of an old man. So some people,
Bro, he's enjoying himself.
yeah, some people may think that it would have been Abuelo wilding out from the other side.
Yeah, I think so, bro. It sounds like Grandpa he threatened her, and then all this shit happened.
Yo, so Veronica could have been protecting them the whole time.
Estefania.
Word. They're calling the police on him and shit, and she's like, "Chill, bro. It's Grandpa, bro. Chill."
And Grandpa is just out here trying to fuck up the whole family. Can we get the movie for Grandpa though?
I don't want to see that movie. I don't care about that.
Like a prequel, like
I don't care
you
about
don't
that.
care about
before
that.
he was in that.
I care about what happened in the house. I don't care. You can watch that movie about him going to fight the war or something. He's probably fought in the war.
Nah, bro. Maybe he tried to give his soul to the devil and shit. It could have been lit.
You don't know, bro. You don't know. Grandpa's bugging.
No, with that Grandpa.
I'm gonna watch Veronica and that's
bugging.
it. I don't care about Grandpa. I don't
You
care
telling
about
me if the
Abuelo.
trailer
It's
open
gonna
up
be
with
the
an old man's
prequel, Veronica's grandpa.
I don't care about Abuelo.
You telling me if the trailer opens up with an old man laughing in the camera and like in a
I'm gonna be
Spanish
like, wow,
old man
he's
laughing,
I'm just like, wow, he's demented. Wow, what a great movie.
laughing while everybody else in the house is screaming. That's
You
hilarious.
go make a petition for that movie to be made. Have fun with that. There are also some more grounded theories on what happened.
Wow.
More realistic theories about what happened. Some people attribute it to her epilepsy, saying that the epilepsy killed her, but then that wouldn't account for
Blame
the
the
family
disability.
hearing the voices and the family having the paranormal experiences.
Fuck
Also,
that, bro. How do you account for the police walking in and seeing all this crazy shit happen?
Seriously.
there you go. There you go. They also claim it could have been black mold or carbon monoxide, but still, the police would have to be exposed to it as long as the family would to start experiencing everything.
Cops can't just walk in there and start tripping.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's a fact. That shit would have to be everywhere.
Well, and they'd have to be experiencing it for a prolonged period of time as well.
Yeah.
To have the same effects. And why did it just kill her? Why didn't it kill everybody else? The kids were, young as well. They could have killed the mom, could have killed dad. Just her.
She was the unhealthy kid. She was the sickly kid. You know.
I don't know. I'm not buying this one though for sure. This one doesn't make any sense. They also say that it could have just been straight up made up. That two of the brothers came out and they were like, yeah, we used to do the banging. We used to do all the crazy stuff. It was us.
Yeah, but what about the police?
That's
though?
what we're saying. That's what I'm saying. So it just doesn't add up.
And
Did
they
nobody
put it in
get
their
these
fucking
policemen
report.
to do an interview with them? Like, oh, yeah, I see your name is on the police report, so you were there. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like,
It all makes sense. They say that the mom might have been mentally ill, so she was making some of it up. But like the police would have to be involved. The police would have to be involved.
right. Like the police are in the conspiracy. Like,
so
I don't think they want to waste their time in the middle of the night for this bullshit.
right? Like, what do they get out of it? What do they get out of it?
No,
The only
maybe they saw the Conjuring and they were like, "Fuck it, bro. We could be in the movies."
well, this was in the '90s, so The Conjuring wasn't even made yet.
All right.
Well, The Conjuring house had already happened, but they didn't make the movies. So, yeah, I'm not really buying that one because also they didn't really go on a big press run. Like, you know, the parents, they put in the work after that. Like Andrea wrote a bunch of books. They got the movie deal. There's so many interviews of them talking about it. They're doing festivals about it. I mean, there was so much material there for me to comb through. It was very interesting, but there's not a ton of material there on this, especially from the family's perspective. It's really, what they really go through is the police report. Like, that's pretty much all of the information you have. There is a book written by the sister. It's only in Spanish, though, and when I looked at the reviews, they say it sucks. So I'm not going to read that anyway. So it's like what do they really get out of it? They also say that, like, they brought over the neighbors, and the neighbors were saying, like, yeah, we hear the noises, like, yeah, you know, they bugging in here, like, you got spirits up in here, like, y'all wilding out,
bugging in
like,
here.
yeah, y'all got spirits up in here, y'all better get out of here. So it's like, it's too much evidence for me to believe that it wasn't of the paranormal. Are we right here or what?
You're right, bro. We all in agreement. But what about the cops? That's all I gotta say.
I'm still trying to figure out, like, why weren't they interviewed? Like,
well, one of them was interviewed on TV, and he was saying basically the same thing. Like, yo, the kid flew across the bed. I heard about that, and then I saw the cross, and then the scratches and all this stuff. So, but there's not a lot of material out there. I wish there was. I wish there was more material out there about this. But this was a fascinating case.
How can the realists explain the scratches on the door?
Explain the upside down cross, buddy. Explain it. They're gonna be like, well, we weren't there to see it. Blah blah blah.
Magnet.
If you tell me something happens,
it was very specific. You said the Jesus was metal. It was all with magnets.
If you tell me that there was no police report, the family is the only people that have a say in this. They went on a massive, press run after this, and they wrote a bunch of books, and they made a fucking shop with T-shirts, and they turned the house to, if they started just, making this their life, then I'd be like, well, there's a case for that. Like, they're milking this now. Like, maybe they did do this. Maybe they did exploit their daughter's death, and they did it for this. But, like, there's really not a lot of evidence to say that.
Listen, when creepy things happen in Spanish countries, I nod my head.
We don't like it. We're not the type to do that. We're not the type to be like, we're gonna get a bag off this. We're like, nah, we about to rub the egg on me. We're gonna get this out of here. We're not into that.
You guys are definitely not the type to call the police for something like that.
That's a fact. I have too many Spanish people tell too many horror stories for me to be like, if they listen, they don't play with their Spanish stories, and there's so many
doing that.
So many out there. There's every Spanish family you meet. There's a Spanish. They have stories about ghosts, ghouls, demons, angels, and others. Like, nah. I just nodded my head and said, "Yep, I believe you."
That's right.